Perfect. Okay. So let's begin with the session, guys. So in yesterday's session, okay, so we saw a very important topic, that is constructor chaining. Okay. So what is constructor chaining basically, guys? One constructor is calling another constructor. Okay. So that is the concept of constructor chaining that can happen in the same class with the help of this calling statement, and it can happen in another class with the help of super calling statement and is a relationship. And supercalling statement can be used in two ways, that is either implicitly or explicitly. I have told you all this, right? What is it? When we create an object of a class, and if that class has a superclass, and if that superclass has a non-parameterized constructor, the subclass constructor will call it implicitly. If not, we have to call it explicitly. Okay, so these are the few things which we have seen in the previous session. Okay, so now in today's session, we are going to talk about another important topic. Okay, an underrated topic. Okay, method overriding. Okay, so we are going to talk about a topic called as method overriding. Okay, so there are two concepts which are very popular in the interview process. Okay, method overloading, method overriding. So these are the two most popular questions in any Java interview you attend. Okay, so make sure you all know overloading in a beautiful manner, I believe, right? So now in today's session, we are supposed to talk about method overriding. Okay, so now we know what is a method, don't we? Okay, method is a set of instructions in order to perform some specific task here. Correct? Methods are a set of instructions in order to perform some set of tasks here. Okay, now then what do you mean by overriding? Okay, what do you mean by overriding? Overriding means changing something, right? You have heard of the term called as overriding. No, overriding means changing, or we may also call it as modifying. Okay, so overriding means changing or modifying. So I am making use of the term method overriding. So therefore, there is some kind of changes involved with respect to methods. Got the clarity? There is some kind of changes or modification involved with respect to methods here. Okay, I'll tell you one small story. Okay, not story wherein you'll start sleeping. Okay, just a basic idea about it. Okay, so just overview. I'm just giving the basic way of understanding the overview. Okay, so now imagine, guys. Okay, it's all assumption. Okay, visualize. Okay, there is father. Okay, and there is son. Got the clarity? There is father and son here. And father is also having a bike. Okay. Did you all understand the process here? There are two people. Okay. One is father, another one is son. Correct? And father has a bike. Okay. Now, these are the prerequisite. Now, one fine day. Okay. One fine day, what will happen? The son will go to his father. Okay. The son will go to his father and request, Father, I want a new bike. Please buy me a new bike. You understood here what happened? There was an easy relationship. Father, son, and father had a bike. That was the prerequisite. One fine day, okay, what happens? The son goes to his father and he'll tell, Father, please buy me a new bike. Okay, so now what will the father do here? The father is like, okay, for the marks which you have scored, I cannot buy you a bicycle as well. So what you will do here is you take the same bike which I'm using. Got the clarity here? Okay, it's just all visualizing. Okay, now son goes to his father and asks him to purchase a new bike. Ask him to buy a new bike. The father is like, no, I cannot buy you a new bike. Rather, the bike which I am using, you can take it. Okay. So what did the son do? The son took the bike from his father. Okay, the son took the bike from his father. But it was an old fashioned bike. Okay, very old bike. Okay, so what did he do here? The son took the bike from his father and he modified the bike here. And he modified the bike. That is called as overriding. What happened here? The son took the bike from his father and he modified that particular bike here. That is called as method overriding. Clear? There was easy relationship between them. Okay, father, son, Easy relationship, meaning inheritance. So the son took the bike from his father and he modified. Got the clarity? Understood? Okay, now done. I'll give you one more instance which you can all easily relate it. Okay, now imagine, guys, there is an interview. Okay, now there is an interview. So there are two persons. Okay, two people. Person A, person B. Correct? No, they both are friends. Okay, they both are friends. Person A has one resume. Okay, so in common sense, no, in order to attend any interview here, you should all obviously have one resume. Correct? No. So what happened? There is an interview going on. Okay, and there are two people, person A, person B. Both are trying to attend the interview. Both are trying to attend the interview. But person A has a resume, but person B does not have a resume. So what will person B do? Will he create a new resume? Absolutely no. What will he do here? This guy will go to his friend. Hey, person A, please give me your resume. So he will take the resume from person A and he will modify that particular resume. So what did you understand? He is not creating a new resume. He took the resume from his friend and he modified it. Okay, so he should at least change his father's name, address, marks, or whatever it is. Okay, now so 99.9%, okay, or not 99, okay, we'll tell 90%. 90% of the students, okay, 90% of the job aspirants here, what they'll do, who are looking out for a job here, they will never ever create your resume. You'll just copy paste, no? You'll either download it from the net or you will take it from your friends, you'll try to modify it. Correct? That is called as overriding. We are taking something from someone and changing it here. This is called as method overriding. Got the clarity here? Okay, sir. Okay, somewhat we understood, sir. But can we do it in a practical manner here? That is when the actual fun starts. Okay. Now I'll tell you in a beautiful manner. Okay, now imagine, guys. Now imagine I have a beautiful class called as father. Okay, apply common sense. Okay, I have a class called as father. Okay, open curly braces and close curly braces. We know what is class, correct? Class is a blueprint of an object and then father is the class name, right? So now I can have a beautiful methods as well. So let me have a method. Void is the return type, okay, meaning the method will not return anything, okay, and bike is the method name, bike is the method name, open parenthesis close and open curly braces close here. So this is the scope of the bike method and I just give one line of implementation as system.out.println. I will just write it as father's bike. Okay, I'm just writing the implementation as what? Father's bike. So it's a beautiful program, simple, okay, simple program here, wherein we had a class father and he had a beautiful method called as bike method. Okay, now here, we're done with the first half. Okay, we're done with first half. Okay, so this is the first half of the program here. Now in the second half, what will I do here? Okay, there is a class. Okay, and the class name is son. Open curly braces and close curly braces. Open curly braces and close curly braces. Got the clarity here? Yes, perfect. Now, first of all, son has to inherit the method first. Okay, if I have to override the method, no, I have to inherit it. Without inheriting, I cannot override it. Correct? No, you have to take the bike from your father. You have to take the resume from your friend. So you have to take the property first. So how will I, achieve easy relationship? Extends. When I tell son extends father, okay, son extends father, what did you understand here? The son is inheriting the properties of father. So this bike method is inherited into the son. Okay, the bike method is inherited into the son. After inheriting, I have to change the implementation of the inherited method. Okay, I have to change the implementation of the inherited method. Therefore, while overriding, okay, keep in mind, while overriding, the return type should be same. Okay, the return type should be same. The method name should be same and the Argument should also be same, meaning the method signature has to be same, meaning the declaration has to be same. But there is some changes with respect to the implementation. So I just give one line of implementation as system.out.println, and I will just write the implementation as son's bike. Okay, I just write it as son's bike. Since the bike method does not belong to the son, okay, rather he has inherited that bike from his father and he has changed the implementation. The declaration is same, meaning the method name is same, return type argument is same, but there was a change with respect to the implementation. Okay, since this is an overridden method, optionally, I repeat, optionally, if you are overriding a method, you can write something called as at the rate. We call it as annotation, and I can just write it as override. When I write at the rate override, which we generally refer it as annotation override, it's an indication that this method does not belong to the son explicitly, rather it was inherited and it was overridden. So it's just an indication to the JVM as well as the programmer. Okay, and you can have the main method in the same class, it doesn't matter. So you will have your main method in the same class. Public static void main string array of arguments, open curly braces and close curly braces. Okay, now in the main method, okay, I will create an object of son is equals to new son of. I create an object of the subclass, and now when I tell s dot bike method, okay, what will be the output? What will be the output here? Will the output be father's bike, option number one, or will the output be son's bike, option number two? What will be the output? Apply common sense. I'll tell you one common sense. Okay, see here. Now here, is it option one or option two? But now I'll tell you one small hint here. Okay, what is that hint, sir? Okay, see, there was a father, he had a bike. The son took the bike from his father and he has modified that bike. Now, if the son wants to override ride the bike here, is it the old bike or the new bike? Or is it the previous implementation or the latest implementation? So you have to decide. So the option is between, the output lies between option 1 and option 2. That is either father's bike or son's bike. Okay. So now what is the output here? Okay. So majority of you have told it the option is going to be, okay, son's bike here. And you are very perfect. Okay. The answer is son's bike. Why? Once you have overridden the method, always the overridden implementation will be the output. You will not get the output as father's bike. Got the clarity here? So now we will talk about the memory part. What is happening internally? Okay, sir. When I create an object of son, when I tell new, an object is getting created. Perfect. And the address of the object is 111. And who is pointing to that object? S is pointing to that object. So I am creating an object of son. But this son is having a superclass called as father. So I have to store the father class properties first. I might have created an object of son only, but son is having one superclass. No, I have to allocate the superclass properties first in the memory. So there is a non-static method called as bike. Okay, void is the return type, bike is the method name, open parenthesis close, and it is pointing to some implementation 0x1. Okay, it is pointing to what? Some implementation 0x1, wherein, okay, the implementation of the method is stored. That is SOP. Okay, the implementation is father's bike. That got loaded within the memory. Understood here what is happening? So this is what happening within the memory here. Okay, now got the clarity? Done. Perfect. This is all about it. What happened here? I have to store the father class properties. Return type, method name, arguments. It is pointing to some address 0x1 wherein the implementation of the method is stored. So I have successfully stored the father class properties. Now I have to store the son class properties. Okay, I have to store the son class properties. But in the Sun class, there is a return type void, method name, argument, meaning the declaration is same. So therefore, in objects, duplication is not possible. Therefore, what will happen here? This will get dereferenced and it starts pointing to a new implementation 0x2 wherein the new implementation is stored. That is nothing but okay, Sun's bike. So now here what is happening here? Now internally when I call the bike method, it is pointing to a new implementation, okay, which is nothing but the data here. Okay, let me prove it to you. Okay, so now what is happening internally here? When I tell s dot bike method, when I tell s dot bike method, it is not pointing to 0x1 because the connection is lost, the dereference. It is starting to point to a new implementation 0x2, wherein 0x2 is storing the implementation called as Sun's bike. I get the output as Sun's bike. Got the clarity? If a method has been overridden, always you will get the overridden implementation no matter what. Okay, if you have overridden the implementation, always the overridden implementation will get executed. The same method bike, okay, the same method bike. Initially it was pointing to father's bike. Later, after overriding, it is pointing to son's bike. This is all about the entire process. This is called as method overriding. And this was one question. Sir, is it necessary to use at the rate override, sir? No, optionally. That is what I told. Clearly listen. Okay. Optionally, I can use annotation override. What is the advantage? I will tell you here. Don't worry. But this is optional. Even if you don't write, your program will absolutely work. Okay. But it's a good practice to use it. I use it. You don't like it, don't use it. Okay. Very simple. Okay. So now we will talk about the theoretical aspect. We will talk about the notes and then we will come again with the explanation here. Okay. So now here, what is method overriding? See, simple definition here. I'm not at all complicated. The process of inheriting the method. First, I have to inherit the method. Okay. After inheriting the method, I have to change the implementation of that inherited method. Okay, na. Without inheriting, you cannot tell I will override, I will override. No. Inheritance is a mandatory topic for achieving overriding. Okay. So first, I will inherit the method and change the implementation of that method. Got it? That is overriding. And during overriding, there are three things which I have to make sure we should achieve. Method name should be same, argument should be same, return type should be same. In simple terms, the method declaration or the signature has to be same. Okay? Method declaration or the signature has to be same. Clear everyone here? So there are a couple of notes which I will talk about it later. And as I told you here, while overriding a method, we can optionally use annotation, that is at the rate override. Okay? So it's just an indication to whom? To the programmer and the JVM internally that this method is being overridden. Okay, just an indication or information. And when was it introduced from? JDK 1.5. From the fifth version of Java, okay, this particular topic was introduced here. Got the clarity here? And what is the job of access specifiers? I will tell you. This point I will tell you later. Okay, so this is all about the entire data here. Okay, so now this is very important topic. Why? I will tell you here. Okay, so now I'll go back to my program here. Okay, so now okay, I'll let me create a particular project. Okay, let me create a particular project. So there are a lot of questions I'm getting. I'll answer. Okay, have patience, patience. Okay, you're just pulling the trigger very quickly. Okay, too early. It's very too early for you all. Okay, you're just pulling the trigger very soon. Okay, don't worry. Okay, we'll all do it. Patience. Okay, you just don't try to eat everything in a single day. Okay, now patience. Okay, now let me create a beautiful project. Okay, I'll create a new project and the project name is, I'll give the answer for each and everything. Okay, method overriding. Okay, I will create a new project and that project name is method overriding. Done. Project got created successfully. Once I am done creating the project, what is the next step here? Obviously, the next step is to create a package. Okay, now let me create a package, control N. and I will create a package, and the package name is com. Okay, and what is the package name? The package name is com. Done. Perfect. Clear? Now, later, okay, I will create one class also. Package class done. I will create a class, and the class name is, okay, and the class name is father. Okay, and I'll write the class name as father. Okay, perfect. So now here, okay, so now here, if you could closely observe, I have told this several times, right? When I tell package com, there is a folder called as com. Okay, and the class name is father, so obviously the file name will also be father. So the father.java file is present in a folder called as com. And class is a blueprint or a platform to store the states and behaviors of an object. And public is the access specifier, meaning, everyone can access this class. We haven't spoken about access specifiers yet. Okay, now don't tell sir what is public, sir. Okay, I will do it. Patience. Okay. Now there is a class father, and he has a method called as bike method. Okay, see, this is called as declaration. Void, okay, is the return type. Bike is the method name, and no arguments. This is declaration, and whatever I give it within this curly braces is called implementation. Okay, so here I'll just write sys out. Okay, sys out, I'll write it as old fashioned. Okay, old fashioned father's bike. Okay, I just give the implementation as old fashioned father's bike. Ashte. Okay, now simple part I'm done. Now later, what I will do, after this entire process here, let me create a new class. The shortcut key is Control N, and I will create a class, and the class name is, okay, son. Do you want the access modifier as public? No, I don't want public. So just change it to package. When I tell package, there won't be any keyword called as public. See, now when I execute it, there's no keyword called as public. Now I want to achieve, okay, I'll just pull it down. Okay, I'll drag it down here. I want to achieve is a relationship here. Okay, so now before achieving overriding, without inheritance, we cannot do it. So the process of inheriting the method. So I will inherit the method. How? Extends father. When I tell extends father, what does it mean? The son has acquired the properties of father, meaning the bike method is inherited into son. Okay, now rule number one done. We have inherited. Now after inheriting, I have to override. Okay, for overriding, the return type should be same, the method name should be same, and the argument should also be same. Okay, make sure the argument should also be same. And then there is a change in the implementation. I will write it as new modified sons by. Okay, I'll just write the implementation as new modified sons by. Okay, and the execution will always start from the main method. Okay, main method, and I will just create an object of son. Okay, I will just create an object of son. And now after I create an object of son, okay, I'll just pull it down over here. Okay, after I create an object of son, what am I doing here? Oh, let it be at the bottom only. It looks better. Okay, so that I could easily relate it. Okay, now, so let it be at the bottom, guys. Don't worry, don't mind. Okay, perfect. So now here I will have the son class, and now here I'll tell s dot bike method. So now what will be the output? Will it be old fashioned father's bike or new modified son's bike? It's common sense, sir. If I have overridden the method, always the overridden implementation will get executed. When I execute the program here, look at the output what we get here. So you will be, you won't be surprised because you all know the output, right? So now when I execute it, I'll get the output as new modified son's bike. But if I am overriding optionally, okay, I can make use of something called as annotation override. Okay, when I write annotation override, it's just an indication to the programmer. He will easily understand, oh, this bike method was inherited and we are trying to change the implementation. If I don't use it, okay, you'll be in dilemma. Oh, this bike method, does it explicitly belong to son or was it inherited and have we overridden? There is some ambiguity, correct? So that's the reason I will always make use of annotation override. You don't like it, ignore it, okay na? Ashte, simple, ignore it, okay na? But it's a good practice to use it, okay na? Got the clarity about what is overriding, correct? Perfect. Now I will give you loads and loads of examples here for understanding this particular topic in detail. Okay, one particular topic now. Control N. I will create a class called as vehicle. Okay, what is the class name? Vehicle. In that vehicle class, I will have one method. Okay, that method name is void start method. Okay, na? Void start method. So I'll just write it as vehicle started. Okay, now stay. Okay, nothing else, nothing else. Now I'll create one more class. Control N. I will create a class called as car. Okay. So now here in car class, okay, vehicle class, imagine I have two methods. Void stop method. Okay, now done everyone here. So now here I'll write it as vehicle stopped. Okay, vehicle stop. Aste. Vehicle is a class and it has two methods called as start and stop. Okay. Now here car extends vehicle. Car extends vehicle. Okay, now understood. Then here I will write void start. So here I'll just write it as car started void shift gears is the method name, and I just write the implementation as okay gears shifted. Okay, now so now here I have one class called as vehicle and it is inheriting the vehicle class, correct? Now tell me which method is overridden method and which is explicitly overridden, I mean which is explicitly defined. So don't you think so it's difficult to understand here? Because imagine of a scenario wherein in vehicle class we have 1,000 methods. How many methods? 1,000 methods. In car class, again we have 1,000 methods. Now it's very difficult to understand which method is inherited and we are overriding and which is explicitly defined. Imagine they have not shown you which is vehicle class. They have not at all revealed what is vehicle class, what is there in the vehicle class. Now, how will you understand which is overridden, which is not overridden? That's the reason if I'm overriding a method, I will just write annotation override. So it's just an indication that okay, start method was taken from vehicle. Okay, now it was inherited from vehicle and we are overriding it. So just using annotation override, indication to the JVM internally and the programmer that this method is being inherited and overridden. Whereas when I use annotation override with shift gears, it is giving an error. Why? Because it's telling, see, if I just hover on it, the method shift gears of type car must override or implement a super type method. So it's telling there is no method called a shift gears in vehicle. Then how can you override without inheriting? Clear? It's telling, hey, dabba fellow, look here. Shift gears, you are explicitly defining it here. But how can you tell annotation override? If you are inheriting an override, use annotation override. Okay, but directly you cannot write annotation override for all methods. You can write only for the methods which are inherited and we are overriding. Got the clarity? So now you'll understand. Okay. Shift gears is explicitly defined in car and start method was taken from vehicle and we are overriding. Understood everyone here? We understood why do we make use of override. Simple, no? See, I have not shown you which is what is there in vehicle class. So it becomes easy to understand. Okay, start is overridden and shift gears is explicitly defined. Aste. Clear? Now here, what is the reason I did this particular program was to explain that. And one more topic I have to explain. Okay, what is the topic here? Okay, I will tell you. Okay, each and everything. Your questions all, I know because this topic I'm done like how many times? I don't even remember how many times I've done this topic. Okay, so now done. Okay, now quickly you have to tell me the output. Okay, now you have to concentrate and tell me the output. I have a class called as test. Okay, so I have a class called as test here and I'll have my main method wherein the execution will begin from, and I will create an object of car. Okay, and I will tell c dot start method. Now quickly tell me, just assume and tell me what should be the expected output. VS for vehicle started, CS for car started. What will be the expected output? Will it be VS or CS? VS vehicle started, CS car started. What will be the output? CS only. Car started only. Very good. Why, sir? Sir, are you blind, sir? You have overridden the method, sir. Once we are overriding a method, once a method is overridden, always the overridden implementation only will get executed and I will get the output as car started. Okay, I got the output as car started. Right? Very good. Sir, now, is there a possibility? Okay, is there any chance I can access the superclass implementation as well? Now, if a method has been overridden, I can access only the overridden implementation, sir. But is there any possibility wherein I can also access vehicle started, the superclass implementation? Your answer is yes. And you already know it. Okay, you already know it. Okay, you have to tell me, sir, how, sir? I have told the answer as yes, you can. But how, sir? Didn't I do something called as a keyword called as super, which is used to invoke the superclass properties, correct? Super dot start here. So when I tell super dot start, see here, I have created an object of car in my main method here, correct? This is the execution will always begin from my main method, correct? I have created an object of car and I have told c dot start method. Press control on your keyboard, hover on the method, click on it. So now I am calling the start method. What is the first line? Super meaning I got the access to the super class, meaning I got the access to the vehicle class. In that vehicle class, which method are you invoking? Dot start method. There can be 1,000 methods, no? Stop method, shift gears method, drive method, whatever methods. So super dot start meaning from here the control will go to the super class start method. Vehicle started will get executed. Control comes back. Car started will get executed and the control comes back. Now when I execute it, did I get the expected output as vehicle started and then car started? Absolutely yes. And then, sir, can I use it anywhere in the method, sir? Yes. Constructor chaining is different and here method calling is different. In constructor chaining, we had to use super calling statement as the first executable line. But here there is no constructors involved. Don't get confused. Okay. Here super calling statement is used during constructor chaining. Here, am I talking about constructors? Absolutely no. I'm talking about methods. So methods, in order to invoke methods, you can use super calling a keyword wherever you want. Super dot variable name or super dot method name. So what will be the output when I call the start method? When I call the start method, here I will call vehicle started, car started, vehicle started. So now when I execute it, that I get the output as VS, CS, VS, vehicle started, car started, vehicle started. Clear? So we can also get the overridden implementation as well as the superclass implementation as well with the help of super keyword. Got the clarity? So this is how we are supposed to understand method overriding concept in one beautiful manner here. Got it, everyone? Okay. So this is a very, very important topic going ahead. Okay. You will realize the importance here. Everywhere you will use method overriding. Okay. If I talk about polymorphism, overriding is mandatory. When I talk about abstraction, overriding is mandatory. When you talk about sorting, comparable comparator in collections, again, overriding is important. Everywhere overriding is the basic topic. Inheritance and overriding are two such topics wherein you use it widely in entire Java. Okay, so that's the reason here I am stressing a lot and I'm giving you so much of data here. Got the clarity here? So there are a couple of questions which I'll answer here. Do you all have any questions? Very good. You are all answering here. So okay, there was one question, sir. Is annotation override mandatory to write? No, not mandatory, optional. But if you're overriding a method, it's a good practice to use annotation override. Even if you don't write annotation override, compiler will not come and slap you. Okay, na? It will work fine. But on a longer run, it becomes difficult. Okay, na? So that's the reason. And the second question was, what is the use of overriding concept? That I'll answer. Okay. How do we get father class implementation? I told you, super keyword. We can use comments also, but that's a different story for documentation purpose. Okay. I hope I have answered most of your questions here. Now we will talk about the real-time implementation here. Why is it important? I will talk about the real-time aspect here. Okay. Before that, anyone having any confusions, guys? Anyone having any confusions now? As of now, okay, I'll tell you why is it important and how do we use it in real time. Okay, now, perfect. So now here, I will talk about one scenario, guys, related. Okay, it's the topic which you'll all like. Okay, so now we will try to talk about it. Okay, now, guys, imagine. Okay, understand carefully. Okay, don't sleep now. Okay, wake up, everyone. Okay, so now understand here. Imagine. Okay, I am working around with the first part called as WhatsApp. Okay, imagine here, guys. Okay, okay, let me build this class in a beautiful manner. I will only build it. Okay, so we have a class called as WhatsApp 1. Then we'll have one more class called as WhatsApp 2, and then finally we will have a class called as WhatsApp 3. Correct? So what am I doing, sir? Sir, what are you doing, sir? Patience, patience, patience. Okay, done. I will explain. Okay, one program will be assignment for you. Okay, so I'll tell you which program and which program I'll be doing it. Okay, perfect. Now, guys, understand carefully. First, I am working on a project called as WhatsApp. Okay, WhatsApp 1. Okay, when I launched, okay, when I developed the first version of WhatsApp here, okay, it had only one feature. Okay, that feature was something called as display feature, and the return type is void. And you know what was the implementation over here? The implementation was only single ticks. Okay, we used to get only single tick over here. Once the message is delivered, seen, whatever it was single tick. Got the clarity here? So when I launched the first version of WhatsApp, okay, when the first version of WhatsApp came, it had only one feature, that is display method, okay, or deliver method, or whatever it is. You can take your own feature method. Okay, once the message is sent, delivered, and seen, you always get only single tick. Okay, now that was the first version. Now, when I want to launch the second version of WhatsApp, don't you think so? Each and every time we'll always get upgrade your app, update, update, update. You'll always get no, because we always want new features. The same application only, but we always want new features. So now when I launch the second version of WhatsApp, what does it mean? I will launch the second version of WhatsApp. That is nothing but, okay, WhatsApp 2. Okay, wait for a moment. That is nothing but WhatsApp 2. So now when I tell WhatsApp 2, second feature of WhatsApp, it has to support the previous features as well. Okay, when the second version of WhatsApp came, it has to support the previous features as well. So there I will override the method. Okay, because it has to support the previous features with a bit of enhancement here. Now what will happen here? The return type is void. Now in the second version of WhatsApp, the same feature called as display was updated. Now here, it will tell two things. Once the message is sent, you will always get single tick, and when the message is delivered, you will always get double tick here. Got the clarity? You updated. Okay, see, in first version, you had a method, this method called as display. Once you send a message, you'll have only single tick. Once the second version of WhatsApp came here, you had the same feature, display feature only, but it was enhanced, it was updated. Now it will support single tick also, and it will support double tick also. And you had a new feature called as, okay, and one new feature was added. What is that new feature called? Sir, calling option. Now with the help of WhatsApp, you can also call. Okay, the return type is call. Here only voice call was supported. Okay, no video calls. Only voice call was supported. Did you all get the clarity? How is the real-time process working? When I launched the application for the very first time, it had only one feature display. Once the second version of WhatsApp came, once I've updated, it had the same feature called as display only, but it supported the previous feature, that is single tick as well as double tick. Okay, and a new feature was added. What is it? Calling option. Now you can perform voice call with the help of WhatsApp. Okay, and now once the third version of WhatsApp came, okay, once the third version of WhatsApp came here, okay, that is nothing but WhatsApp 3. What is it? That is nothing but WhatsApp 3 here. Once the third version of WhatsApp came, it has to support the previous version features, mandatory. That's the reason it is inheriting. So now it had a method called as display. Now what happened over here? In the third version of WhatsApp, it has to support single tick, it has to support double tick, and it has to support a new feature called as blue tick. Single tick if the message is sent, double tick if it is delivered, and blue tick if the message is viewed. Okay, so the same feature. Okay, I took WhatsApp 3 inherited from WhatsApp 2, and it has to support the features of WhatsApp 2 plus a new feature was updated. And then again the same calling option should be supported, but now they enhanced it, meaning now it will support voice call also. Okay, now it will support voice call also and video call also, and it will support voice call and video call. Got the clarity here? In second version only voice call, now voice call plus video call, and one more extra feature they added. Sir, what is that feature, sir? That is nothing but story feature. Now you could update story as your status. Okay, whatever story is here, and the return type is void here, wherein you can upload only images as stories. Okay, later videos, GIF files, everything. Got the clarity? This is how in real time, okay, we will work. It's not that all the time I will create new features and the old features will go to vain. No, no, we have to always follow this structure here. So just visualize when the first version of WhatsApp came, once the message is sent, it will always give the single tick. But the second version of WhatsApp came, single tick and double tick, one extra module was added, that is calling option. Once the third version of WhatsApp came, display method, single tick, double tick, blue tick, calling, voice call and video call, and one story can also be uploaded. Again, when the fourth version of WhatsApp came, imagine, visualize, fourth version of WhatsApp came, voice call is supported, video call is supported. Now it's group video call. Okay, we can do group video call also. Story, you can upload images also, videos also. That's how each and every time updation will happen. Got the clarity here? This is how in real time we are going to work around with is-a relationship and overriding. We have to inherit the properties of the old feature and we have to enhance the same feature data here. That's how it will work in real time. Got it? So the same program, can I convert it into a program, the same pictorial representation which I have told, I have to convert it into a programmatic way. How, sir? How can we do it, sir? Simple. See, Control N. I will have a class called as WhatsApp1. Okay, I will have a class called as WhatsApp1. In WhatsApp1, I will have a method. What is the method? Void, message. Okay, message option only. The method name is message or text or whatever it is. Text message. Oh no, we'll just write it as message. Okay, message. If you send a message here, only what was supported? Single tick. Okay, single tick supported. Single ticks supported. Okay, I'll just write it as single tick supported. Ashte. Okay, now no complications, nothing here, just a simple Java program. I had a concept called as WhatsApp1. Just not to confuse, I'll take the method name as display only. Okay, we had a feature called as WhatsApp1. It had a method called as display, single tick supported. Okay, next, the second version of WhatsApp came. Okay, WhatsApp 2. So, WhatsApp 2 has to inherit the properties of WhatsApp 1 because it has to support the older version features. Okay, so I will tell extends WhatsApp 1, and then I have to, that display method is inherited, but I have to override the display method. Okay, I will override the display method in such a way it has to support the older feature plus the new feature. So I'll tell super dot display, and then I will just write it as double tick supported. I'll write it as what? Double ticks supported. Did you get the point? What is happening over here? So if I'm using WhatsApp 2, if I'm using the WhatsApp second version, if I call the display method, then I tell super.display, WhatsApp 1 is the super class. So WhatsApp 1.display meaning single tick supported, and then double tick supported. Is it an overridden method? Yes, we have inherited an overridden. So I have to use annotation override because we are trying to inherit an override. And one more new feature was added. What is it? Void call. We can call also. Void call method. And what was the data here? Voice call supported. Okay, voice call was supported here. Got the clarity? Is this method overridden? No, sir. This call method was implemented in the second version of WhatsApp. It's not overridden. If I write it as annotation override, no, the compiler will nicely scold me in different languages here. Okay, why? Hey, this module or this feature was added in the second version, right? Therefore, it's not overridden. Got it? Second version of WhatsApp we have built. Now comes the third version of WhatsApp. Now comes which version? Third version of WhatsApp. WhatsApp 3. When I tell WhatsApp 3, it has to inherit the features of WhatsApp 2. So I will tell extends WhatsApp 2. It has to inherit the features of WhatsApp 2. Okay, WhatsApp 2. Okay, now, and here the display method I need to override. Void display. See, same return type, same method name, same number of arguments, but there is a change in the implementation. So when if I'm using WhatsApp 3 and when I call display method, it has to support the previous version features. So I will tell super.display. Okay, and I will tell sysout blue ticks supported. Blue ticks supported. Okay, now that way. Clear? Is it an overridden method? 101% it's an overridden method. Okay, annotation override. And then call also. Void call. If you could closely observe, return type, method name, arguments are same. Why? For overriding, these are the three most important data. And then it has to support voice call. So super dot call. It has to support the call feature of second WhatsApp. Okay, second version of WhatsApp, and it has to support video call as well. So video call supported. Okay, now is it an overridden method? Yes, annotation override. And one more feature was added. Okay, what was it? Void story feature. Okay, here can upload can upload APLOAD. Okay, upload images as story. Okay, can upload images as story. Okay, this is all about the third version of WhatsApp. Did you all get the point? What is happening, sir? Once we launched WhatsApp 1, we had only display feature. Second, it had display feature, but we have upgraded. Okay, we have updated that feature, and then voice call was implemented. Third version, display feature. It will inherit the display feature. I mean, inherit the features of WhatsApp 2, but it will in updated. Call feature is also updated. A new feature was sent here. Now, if you are the user, okay, if you are the user, you're the person who's using WhatsApp. Now, there are three versions of WhatsApp: WhatsApp 1, WhatsApp 2, WhatsApp 3. Which version will you use? Always the latest version, right? So you will tell create an object of WhatsApp, create a version of WhatsApp 3. Okay, w3.display. Okay, w3.display and then w3.call. Okay, and I'm calling those methods okay, I'm just calling those respective methods, and w3 dot, which was that method last feature, story feature. Now when I execute the complete program, look at the output, what is happening. See beautifully. Okay, see, if I'm using the third version of WhatsApp, single tick is also supported, double ticks also supported, blue ticks. And third version of WhatsApp, voice call also supported, video call also supported. And story can upload only images as story. In this particular feature, only images can be uploaded as story. But later, we can upload videos, GIF files, or whatever it is. Okay, so this is how we are supposed to relate this particular topic in a beautiful manner. So once we get the clarity about it, it becomes easy for understanding perspective. This is how it's important in real time. Got the clarity here? So now when I tell w3.display, okay, see if I tell press control on your keyboard, over on the method, it goes to the display method in WhatsApp 3. Super.display, press control on the keyboard, over on it goes here. Again, WhatsApp 2 display. Again super dot display, it goes here. Single ticks, control comes back. Double ticks, control comes back. Okay, blue ticks, and the control will come back. So that's how super dot display, meaning I will be accessing the previous version feature as well. This is all about, okay, method overriding. Got the clarity here? So this is about method overriding process in a beautiful manner. So what is method overriding? The process of inheriting the method and changing the implementation of that method. Okay. And while overriding, method name, return type, arguments, everything should be same. Okay. And optionally, we can use annotation override. Okay. And it was introduced from JDK 1.5. What is this point, sir? Access specifier should be same or of higher visibility. I will tell you later. But remember this point. Okay, while overriding the method, the access specifier should be same or it should be of increased visibility, highest visibility. Because I have not done the access specifiers topic, which I'll be talking about it later. This is all about it. And we spoke about father-son example. Father had a method bike, and then son overrode the bike here. The method has been overridden. Vehicle and car, okay, wherein we can access the superclass properties, okay, and then we took the version of WhatsApp 1, WhatsApp 2, WhatsApp 3, and finally user. This is all about, okay, method overriding, and I have told you the various advantages as well. Okay. I want one assignment from your side. Okay, sir, what assignment, sir? Okay, no, nothing. Similar type of program for Instagram. You will do it. Okay, which feature you will do it for Instagram? Okay, or you can do your own real-time example. Okay, when you talk about Instagram here, the first version of Instagram will have a method called as upload. Okay, when you tell upload here, okay, you can upload only images. Okay, you can upload only images. Okay, second here, okay, next here images was uploaded. Second here, if you want a second version of WhatsApp, it had a feature called as upload only, but it supported images and small videos, okay, GIF files. Okay, imagine it is GIF files. Okay, images is static and GIF files is probably like 2-3 seconds. That's it. And one more feature was implemented. What is it? DM. DM meaning direct message, wherein only text messages were allowed. Okay, in the second version of what Instagram. And when the third version of WhatsApp came, okay, sorry, Instagram, upload feature was there. Okay, upload feature was there, but you could upload images also, you could upload GIF files also, and you could upload big videos as well, 2-3 minutes videos as well. Okay, now, so this is how. And DM was there. Now it was supporting only text. Now you could send images also through direct messages. And later, one more feature. Which feature? Story feature. Story feature was updated. So that way you have to think about real time and you can come up with your own ideas. Okay, own ideas, assignment also done, and mandatorily how many candidates? 16 candidates are attending my session. Okay, I want all the 16 to send the assignment by end of the day. Okay, a very small topic. Okay, probably 5 minutes. Okay, not more than that. Okay, 5 minutes I'll take. Okay, to explain that concept. Okay, so we are supposed to talk about something called as final keyword. Okay, just 2 minutes, guys, not more. Okay, now I'm not eating a lot of your time here. Okay, see here, final keyword. This is a predefined keyword. Keyword meaning it's already existing. Okay, now I don't have to define it all together, newly together. Okay, it's already defining. This final keyword can be used with a variable, can be used with a method, and can be used with a class here. Got the clarity? Final is a keyword. I can use it with a variable, method, and a class. Okay, now interview question, a very famous question. What is final keyword? Okay, and I'll tell you what is a small mistake you will do it also. Okay, so now here, okay, now guys, I'll have one class. Okay, over here only I'll create a class called as demo. Okay, now here, so just observe over here, demo class. Okay, I'll have my main method. Okay, see here, int a equals to 10. Correct. Now when I reinitialize a equals to 20, am I able to reinitialize? Absolutely. So initially a was declared. See, you can do it that way also. Okay, so you can do it that way also. First, what happened? A was declared. Then you initialized it to 10, then you initialized it to 20, then you initialized it to 30. Correct. We can reinitialize a variable n number of times. But if you do not want to reinitialize it, no, then you want to make it as final. Final end, okay. So if I just make it as final here, okay, so just observe over here. So not over here because it's declaration here, okay. So just observe, got the clarity, right? Now when I don't want to reinitialize, I will tell final double pi value. Don't you think so? Pi value is always constant here. Okay, pi value is always constant here. Okay, so now if I try to reinitialize pi value, it will give me an error here. See, if I just hover on it, it's giving me an error. Why? See, the final local variable p-val cannot be assigned. It must be blank or not a compound assignment, meaning final variables cannot be reinitialized. If it was some other variable, see, int a equals to 10, later a equals to 20, and a equals to 30. I am able to reinitialize it successfully. But as soon as I make it as final here, it will give me an error. Why? Because final variables cannot be reinitialized. It acts as a constant. Got the clarity? Why do we use it, sir? Sir, pi value, don't you think so? It's constant. Pi value is always fixed 3.14, blah, 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 blah. So you have to treat it as a final variable. So final variable acts as a constant. Got the clarity here? If you don't make it as final here, you can reinitialize it 1,000 times here without any problem. Got it? Similarly, sir, what happens if I make the class as final, method as final? See, if I just make the method as final, look at this example over here. Okay, you look at this beautiful example over here. What will happen? If I make the method as final, it's giving me an error. See, if I just hover on it, it's giving me an error. Why? Remove final modifier. Cannot override the final method from father. So if you do not want to override the method, so you have to make the method as final. Final methods can be inherited. Okay, it is inherited, but we cannot override. Okay, now see, that's the reason. If I don't override also, I'm able to access the bike method. I've created an object of son. Okay, but I'm able to access the bike method. Why? Because extends father, meaning the bike method is inherited. So therefore I can access the bike method. So it cannot be overridden. Got the clarity here? If there is a final method, we cannot override it. What if I make the class as only final? If I just write it as final class father. If I make the class as father, so it will tell cannot subclass here. See, the type son cannot subclass the final class father. So the final class cannot be inherited. So this is all about, okay, final part. Got the clarity here? So what is final here? I'll quickly do it over here. See here, whenever we talk about final, I can use it with a variable, okay? I can use it with a method. I can use it with a class, okay? What happens if I create a final variable? Final variable is a constant, meaning we cannot reinitialize, okay? Final methods can be inherited, okay? It can be inherited, but we cannot override. Overriding cannot possible, okay? It's not possible. Final class cannot inherit it at all, okay? So this is all about final here. It's just an interview question which you should know here, okay? Final variables cannot be reinitialized. Final methods cannot be overridden. Final class cannot be inherited. Okay, so this is how you have to answer in an interview. Okay, don't screw up. I will tell you how you will all answer. What is final? In mock, I'll ask that. Okay, what is final? You will tell final variable cannot be initialized. As soon as I tell final, it's a constant. Okay, it's a wrong way of answering. Okay, final variable is a constant whose value cannot be reinitialized. What about final method and class? As soon as I tell final, you tell it's a constant, sir. Constant, sir. No, 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 no. Final variable is a constant, meaning we cannot reinitialize. Okay, final method cannot be overridden. Final class cannot be inherited. So this is all about method overriding and final keyword. Got it? Perfect. This is all about it. Okay. So great, guys. Okay. So we're done with the session for today.